Hello class, in this tutorial I am going to show you how to make a simple bar graph using the minimum wage workers file. First thing you should notice about this file is that it is a summary table. This is not a raw data file. This is basically showing you that there was a whole bunch of raw data that has now been consolidated into this table. And how do we know that? Is that we have these age range groups here. These are actually called bins, and in a later video I'll show you how to create those based on a raw data file. And so basically in our columns here we have the counts or numbers of hourly workers for men and women. What we need to do is create a graph for the number of men and women who are at or below minimum wage, and that would be the data in these two columns. Making a graph based on summary data in Excel is actually very easy to do. I'm going to show you in about 2 seconds how it just consists of 2 clicks. But one thing you should know about Excel, it really likes when your data is in the right order or in terms of right next to each other. So because we need this column for age and these 2 columns for men and women, one simple solution to do is highlight these 2 columns for B and C for hourly workers, men and women, and then right click on them and click hide. We made them disappear. They're not gone, they're just hidden. And with that we can just select our 3 columns worth of data, go up to insert, and then right here towards the middle of the screen, these are our various types of graphs we can make in Excel. For this particular example, we're going to make a column graph. For the discussion topic, you could do a bar graph. It's just the bars are placed in a different direction. So you just click on column. You have some options here for how the columns look. We're going to stick with a 2D column, and bam, it's done. Basically, that's your graph. It's just missing some nice identifiable elements that every graph should have. Now I'm just going to get rid of that real quick because I wanted to show you one more thing I'm making that. We hid those 2 columns. We're going to select these 3 columns. We're going to right click and we're going to unhide. There's our original table back. We can still make our graph using another method, because this particular method is useful if you have way more columns that are in various locations. What you can do is you can start with one column, select your data, and then hold the control key. Okay, so you got your finger on the control key, and then go and highlight these 2 columns for at or below minimum wage, men and women. And now let go of the control key. Now from here you can see all of my original tables here, but the columns of interest that I want to graph are now selected. And from here I can just do exactly what I did earlier. I go to insert, click on column, click on the graph, and there it is. With these graphs, or any type of graph, you can just grab a corner, drag it, and make it bigger. Like I said, your graph's basically done here. Basically we just need to clean it up and make it legible and readable and understandable for any person walking down the street, online, looking in a magazine. They know exactly what your graph is. So a couple different things. After you make a graph, this chart tool menu appears in Excel. Right now we're in the design tab, and within the design tab you can just change the appearance of the actual bars or whatever graph you're making. I like to use the 3D bars a lot. And then the next thing that's most important is the layout tab. Here we can add things like a chart title. We can put that right above, and once that appears you can just highlight it, delete it, and type what you want. So we can just call this number of men and women at or above minimum wage. This legend right here is important because it's telling us that the blue bars are men and the red bars are women. And obviously there's a difference there. And what I also like to do is I like to put the legend at the top, basically treating the top of the graph as the sole source of information. So we need some axis labels here, okay? So this is our vertical or y-axis. This is our horizontal or x-axis. So we're still in the layout tab. We go to axis titles. The horizontal axis title we can put below, and we can just call that age. And then, and now just something to keep in mind, these menus only open up if you click on the graph, okay? If you click off of it, they disappear. So click on the graph to get back to the menus. We want our vertical axis. We will put it as a horizontal title here, and we'll just make this, you can just call this number, because that's all it is. And that's it. Your graph is basically done. However, just to make it just a little bit easier and more interpretable for the layperson, what I like to do is I like to put in data labels. Okay, and these are going to be numbers that you'll visibly see around the bars. And in this particular example, it looks like their best placement, and again, some of this can be subjective. I would put them on the outside. Why? Because we have these tiny little bars. If you put them anyplace else, they're not going to fit. So if you just stick with put them on the outside, lo and behold, here's our numbers that correspond to our summary table. And that's it.